Hello everyone and welcome back. This is the decisive game number 3 of the Lose to Round 5 matchup between Unicornattack and Scotty. And of course these two players being so evenly matched, such good players, of course it would come to game 3, just like the first series between the two in round number 1. Now, no matter how this match goes, I'm not going to officially declare a winner of this match until I've actually talked to the players and made sure of who won this game, because the corruption has been pretty bad in this matchup. So I just want to be absolutely sure of who actually won the match, but in this replay I will be calling it as it goes, and so we're just going to have to do our best with what we are given. Talking about these armies now, I'm looking over here. Unicornattack, he's in red. Here's the Mori. I have some serious qualms about his setup. Basically no infantry. He has 4 Yari Ashigaru. They are elite with 7 chevrons, but 4 Yari Ashigaru is really not enough, especially being completely unsupported except by 2 Nagidata monks in the infantry department. Though he does have 2 bow warrior monks that he'll really need to skirmish with well effectively. But he does have a ton of cavalry. 5 units of it, in fact. Actually, make that 6 units, so he's really going to use his cavalry to win this one because the infantry is probably not going to be carrying the day. But if he does get these buildings, that would be huge. One is an archery dojo, which he could use those bow warrior monks. The other is a farmhouse, which is good for grinding it out with the Yari Ashigaru, especially because the fatigue is such a big problem when you're in spear wall. Sword dojo over here might go to Scotty if he takes the initiative and starts capturing it quickly, because Unicornattack is moving kind of slow with that Yari spear wall. They're not in spear wall yet, but he's going to want to advance cautiously because positioning and control is so important with that Yari spear wall. It's the most important thing, so you can't rush it and get caught out of position. Bow cavalry here, it will be firing into the Yari Ashigaru line. Good decision to try and whittle that down as much as possible, because once he breaks this Yari spear wall, he can kind of sit tight and hope that he can just withstand cavalry attacks. But speaking of withstanding cavalry attacks, looking here at Scotty, he has 1 Yari samurai for anti-cavalry, and that is it. So he cannot just look at this as winning the infantry battle and winning the battle as a whole, because that cavalry could, if he can get rid of this Yari samurai, he could turn this around by this entire sword infantry. That is 5 katana samurai and 1 nodachi. He does have cavalry, but we have a cav battle on the other side of the lakes. The infantry will probably not going to be able to join it, and so depending on how this cavalry battle goes, this could potentially decide the game as a whole, because if Scotty loses his cavalry here, he's going to have nothing to guard against the cavalry Unicorn, which could end up destroying the weakened swords that will be throwing themselves against that spear wall. So Scotty's going to be really careful. If he does lose cavalry here, he's going to have to get a good infantry engagement off and try and flank, get around to the rear of the sides of that spear wall, not run straight up against it, which is the only way that Unicornattack is winning a infantry engagement. The Great Guard here have been trying to chase off the... Actually, I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I think the Great Guard for Unicornattack tried to chase off the bow cavalry, and the Great Guard for Scotty came and stepped up to defend them. So we're looking now at this cavalry, keeping in mind that there is corruption, but judging by these troop movements, look like this is how it happened. Both sides blooding each other's lips, as we actually had... No, I thought a unit dismounted, which would be kind of funny, but actually there is 2 units dismounted. A Yari cavalry and the other Yari cavalry are going at it on foot. Very interesting to have 2 cavalry as both dismounting. And ooh, that guy got owned. Taking this one on foot like men. Will we have some dismounting over here? It seems to be a bit of a theme. Both sides are being very aggressive and dismounting some cavalry when they think that it's going to be effective. Very good to see. It's sort of an advanced thing to do to try and time that cavalry dismount right, but both sides seem to be doing it. The Great Guard coming over here to support, but it might be too late though against 2 Yari cavalry. It could be close. If this Great Guard dismounts, maybe get a good attack off. There's the Yari cavalry dismounted as well, so it looks like this Great Guard here for Unicorn's actually going to get wasted running into the cavalry here. But if he routes this Yari cavalry, if he can just kill the cavalry for Scotty, he could have a fighting chance. Without much cavalry of his own, he might not be able to capitalize on whatever the Yaris can do. He does have 2 katana cavalry stationed by his infantry waiting for further developments. Bow warrior monks are shooting out into the match like Ashigaru, who are essentially going to get free shots into the Yari Ashigaru, as Scotty, or Unicornattack, doesn't look like he wants to waste his cavalry going into the matchlocks, at least not head on. Yari Ashigaru out of spear wall, just getting mowed down. They've lost 50 men so far. Not looking good for Unicornattack at all, especially since he did not quite win that cavalry engagement. It was very close, and actually a couple more units have routed. And these two, there is a bit of dismounting going on there. Scotty's in blue, has dismounted and is fighting on foot now against the Great Guard. And it looks like they're going to win, having about twice as many men left in the field. Great Guard trying to chase off the bow monks, and he has a little bit more to spare, definitely. Scottie does in the cavalry department, so not a bad risk going forward in the bow monks, because we're looking at something that'll turn the infantry battle. Running out of cavalry, he's going to need to use those bow monks, unless he can use his katana cavalry. But if he uses those early, he's going to be even in more dire straits to win this infantry battle. But he does have a good position up, at least, being on a narrow sort of battlefield, and his spears are in a nice tight wall. Katana cavalry taking down to half strength before they even make it to the matchlocks, but they do make it there. They're down to 46 men and wavering, and another good charge from the Katana cavalry into the Katana samurai, so they could potentially do some damage here. The whistling arrows have gone off, and maybe they'll be able to do some damage here to the Katana samurai, and if he can do as much damage as he can, that would be huge. The matchlocks for Unicornattack are now shooting into the matchlock Ashigaru of Scottie, and it could be very interesting to see how that turns out. It looks like the ones in red for Unicornattack will win that skirmish right there. And it looks like Unicornattack is actually making the attack here, but stopping just short, getting into spear wall, trying to lure Scottie into a position where he's not in a very good position for his infantry. The Naginata monks are back in reserve, and Unicornattack is actually moving into the attack. Not sure if that's a good idea, as his Yaris will now start to get a little bit disorganized. Cavalry battle over here has ended in a draw, as every unit has routed. There seems to be some corruption with the Yari cavalry still in the fight. Matchlocks moving up to skirmish with the matchlocks of the other side, and now, even though he did get a little disorganized, he doesn't have any holes in this line, so it could be very good for him. Naginata monks are trying to come in from the rear. That would be huge if they got around. Generals can stand to fight a little far, but we'll still be able to do some damage, and the bow monks are in pretty good shape at 62 and 40, shooting into the infantry line. I've actually seen... Never mind, I'm not going to talk about that. Yari Ashigaru with 67 men, confident in spear wall though, not going to be able to react, and this Yari cavalry is going to be able to go right into the bow warrior monks and get a nice charge off. If you can get the bows off the field, that would be huge. But oh man, they're really exhausting themselves. This Yari spear wall, I didn't have a whole lot of faith in it. I mean, Unicorn sure did, and it looks like they're winning, and some units are routing from Scottie now. Unicornattack could definitely hold here. At 103 men and confident still. The general is moving up now to get a little closer to his men. Will surely be back and stand and fight. The bows have held out as well, 34 men. The Yari cavalry here has 15. They seem to be rallying for another charge, or maybe they just routed and are corrupted. Who knows? Matchlock Ashigaru have survived and are now still firing into the melee line. It's getting a little disorganized, but actually Unicornattack has punched a hole right in the middle and split Scottie into two different segments. The Nodachis are wavering, the Katanas are wavering, and Unicornattack could definitely pull this one out. I was really skeptical, but he can just turn this battle around. That's what I love about this tournament. There's been so many turnarounds and just unexpected things happening. It's just been great. And we could have definitely unexpected things happening here. Another charge from the general this time going into the bonus. Yeah, it seems like it did route and there's corruption. I mean, otherwise this unit would definitely be moving. So would this one. So there has been corruption. But not too bad. We still see the battle going as it probably did, as it's only the stationary units that you could tell are corrupted. So this infantry battle is probably fairly similar to how it turned out. And it looks like Unicorn is going to win with the wavering on Scottie's side. The general's going in for some last-ditch efforts. But it looks like Unicorn is going to win the second series. Though again, I'm going to confirm this with the players to make sure that this was the actual result. As with these corrupted matches, I just want to make sure that there was corruption causing the win. And there's just one general now for Scottie. He's dismounted, going an honorable charge for what could be his last action in the tournament. But what a good tournament he's had. Some very good wins, very close matches against the Unicornattack, who actually, it's a great story. These two met in the first round of the tournament and actually ended up liking each other so much they became 2v2 partners and are now friends and play with each other all the time. So I'm really glad to see something like that come from this tournament. I think sportsmanship is really great when it fosters, you know, a sort of camaraderie. So really great to see that sort of thing come from the tournament. The general's going to be swarmed here with the monks tearing into the general. And there it is. It looks to me like Unicornattack has taken this series in the rematch 2-1, but what a close series it was. And what a very exciting one. I think this one was even better than the first one, despite the corruption. Just so close. I'll see you back on the main menu. Thanks for watching, everybody. And there you have it, folks. What a great series. I'm saying that it's going to be Unicornattack winning that series. I'll wait to update the brackets until I get confirmation of that. But what a great series, and what a turnaround there by Unicornattack at the end. It looked like Scottie was going to take it. He was in a strong position there at the end, but that spear wall held. Got it. Once again, he won through that infantry engagement. A smart infantry engagement. Even though it was a little risky moving his spear wall up like that and potentially having some holes, he filled it in with those Naginata monks, and it paid off for him. Prevented the big charge going into his yards, and it was the infantry engagement that won that one. Thankfully, he had that cavalry attack that ended in a draw. If he lost it outright, that could have definitely sealed the game, but he at least forced a draw and was able to pull that one out and get the win. And I actually watched that match because I was going to record it last night, but I watched the match and realized that I wasn't quite sure on the order of the games. I actually thought that was game number 1, so it's a good thing that I didn't just continue and post, because actually game number 3, that was the decisive game. So thank you all very much for watching. I really apologize for the corruption. I wish that, you know, there wasn't, but that's just the way it is. Again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I haven't been able to put up matches as quickly as I was before. I've been busy and on traveling and sick, but I'm really going to start getting back into it, especially with the corruption happening and the patches. I really need to get on top of it and do the matches as soon as possible so we don't have this corruption problem. So thank you very much for your understanding. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next match.